Hi, it's Brett. I did have my cat in my lap, but then she left the moment I started talking, which is kind of sad. Um, the game in the background is just as not last week, but yeah, last week is Infinity Nikki. I do love this game. There's an update coming out, and I'm so excited. Ooh, I might also be playing uh Crime Scene Cleaner in the background. It is a section on Twitch. People have played it on Twitch, so I think there is even like a streaming setting that I'll put on just for if I have it in the background. Anyways, I'm going off topic. So I'll be talking about Mrsa. It is an illness, obviously. Brief talk of death is a symptom, okay? Also, I've personally gone through Mrsa, and I'll probably be sharing my story, which will be through the viewpoint of my parents, so that'll be interesting and all. But whenever my story, if it makes you uncomfortable or whatever, feel free to like mute or whatever. Because seriously, I am not here to make you uncomfortable. I'm just here to yap and be happy. Um, I'm gonna butcher the full name of MRSA, but it's also known as methicillin-resistant Staphylococcus aureus. It's a type of bacteria that's resistant to many antibiotics, makes it very deadly. Anyone can get MRSA, okay? It's left untreated infections will cause sepsis or even death. Ooh, I gotta write that down. I'm gonna like do a little study thing on sepsis, because that it's a symptom that keeps popping up in some things. Um, Other symptoms is, well, it really depends on the part of the body that was infected. The part of body that was infected for me was my leg or thigh. I don't know, somewhere around that area. I don't remember which leg. Most symptoms are the area of the infection being red, swollen, painful, warm to the touch, and full of pus or other drainage. It's usually accompanied by a fever, because that's what the body's response is to infections or whatever is fevers. Um, you can't tell by just looking at the skin. And when it first starts, it can be fused as a spider bite, but can get bigger. Um, MRSA causes other complications later on, such as pneumonia, lung infections. It can get into the bloodstream and cause blood infections, surgical site infections, and as I said before, sepsis and even death. It also can mess with your immune system, depending on if it's near the immune system. Mine was, so that'll be fun to talk about. Um, it can be treated with special antibiotics that are made to treat MRSA infections and surgery too. MRSA can also kill lymphatic muscle cells and compromise lymphatic functions. Side note, the lymphatic system is the immune system. Makes one more susceptible to other diseases. So that is MRSA, but I guess I'll go on with my story. So I was 3 years old, well, turning three. I got it on my birthday. Can you imagine? And um, so it was, yeah, it was good. It was near my leg, near the lymph nodes in my leg. And I just like my parents, it was like they got to golf ball size, and by the time my parents were like, okay, we really need to take her to the doctors, because at first they thought it was like a spider bite. Turns out if they waited any longer, I would have been fucking dead, man. Like, without hospital shit, bread would not be here. Bread would be dead. Which rhymes, bread and dead. Which that would be sad, I think. I don't know. I don't know what would happen if I'd be dead. I'd be dead. Um, and in the hospital during my birthday and all, I had to go through surgery, and I think they took out some of my lymph nodes because they were the ones infected, and I was in full on quarantine shit. Like, I had my own little room. They gave me a strawberry shortcake blanket and an Elmo with a bandage on the leg that was injured, which awesome of the staff. I got to keep the blanket. Yeah, the it took, I think, a few days. My parents were the ones who had to help with like switching the bandages out later on, which holy shit, that would suck. I mean, imagine like switching out your own child's bandage. It's probably where I get my fear of needles from because I was like constantly being poked and prodded. I was being pumped full of antibiotics and shit. And that's because like my immune system was like gone, zero, zilch, bye bye. And I would have been fucking dead by anything. Anyways, I'm alive now, which also funny story. Like I think this within the same year, I got stitches on my forehead for busting my head open, which funny, kind of. Anyways, I don't want this to be any longer. Bye.